Okay. Okay. So, students, this lesson, that is the three questions. This is the story by the Russian writer, that is Leo Tolstoy. Okay. Now, in this lesson, first of all, it talks about the life experiences. Okay. Wise man bestows on the king. Okay. The dilemma of the king was given a thought by various councils who shared their vision, although it was futile effort from their side, okay, as they failed to convince the king. Now, first of all, we will see in the story there is a king who actually is, uh, getting these questions or queries in his mind, okay, and we will see what are the questions. So he actually discusses with his council of members, okay, but then they are actually are not able to provide him with a satisfactory response. Okay. So he then reached out for a seer. Students, can you all guess the meaning of the word seer? S-E-E-R. What is the meaning? Yes, students, can you tell me? Any one of you? S-E-E-R. You will have to unmute yourself because I have shared this file. So I'm not able to see the chat screen. Any one of you? Seer. Okay, students, seer is a person who has actually witnessed, okay, the supreme power within ourselves. Witness in the sense he has actually seen. That's why he's called as a seer, he or she. Okay, and that person is actually enlightened. So such kind of people are usually away from the world. So these are usually sages or hermits, sadhu sant we call them, right, who enlighten him with real life experience. And it is the presence or the company or the association of these people who actually help us to experience the real life thing. So now we will see the story. The king gave a thought for consideration that he would always succeed if he could find answers to his three questions. So the king was giving a thought that in case if he is able to answer the three questions, he would definitely always succeed in his life. Now the three things were: what is the right time to begin something? Okay, this is the first question. Second question is, which people should he listen to? The third question is, what is the most important thing for him to do? So these were the questions, which came to his mind. And obviously, it's actually just with the help of the story, okay, that we come to know that king actually got this question. But actually, these questions are for every one of us to understand, right? So we need to understand in case if we want to do something, what is the right time? And in case if we want to trust someone, who is that person, and what is something important for us to do. So the king declared to give a large sum of money as a reward. Okay, just a minute. As a reward to the one who could come up with the answer. He received different answers to his questions. So this, because he had announced that people will be rewarded, so people wanted to try. Okay, they just don't wanted to get the a reward. They all wanted to get the recognition from the king. So that's why they all tried different answers to satisfy the king. Now his first question was answered by many wise men. His first question was answered by many wise men. A few of them suggested to prepare a timetable. Others wanted him to leave everything and engross himself in looking after work. So now here, one of the suggestions was given to him that he should prepare a timetable. Okay, that means he needs to actually manage his life in the right way, right? He cannot just simply do anything that he feels like. Okay, So, like, for us, we have so many things to do in our lives, okay? So, unless and until we prepare a timetable, we will not be able to, complete our task. So, timetable is must. And at the same time, the message was that, he needs to engross himself in looking after the work. So, here, this is kind of like retirement or renouncement, that we should be doing. Okay. And then few suggested of having a council of the wise men. Okay. So some people, wanted him to, have a council of wise people. Okay. And to decide everything, and then other reciprocate that some works need urgent attention. So now here, before we take an important decision, okay, we need to have a council of the members, okay, or the council of the expertise with us. So these council of the expertise, members will actually help us to decide, what is important for us, right? And then some gave the opinion to look into the future by taking the help of a magician. Like many people go to the astrologers, okay, so that their future could be predicted, whether the life partner they are going to choose is going to be, correct or not, or the career that they are choosing is going to be correct or not. The magicians or astrologers, right? So here, he got several opinions. In response to second question, some wise men said that Reena should, okay, listen to his, it's actually king. There's a typing error. So king should listen to his counselors, priests, doctors, or soldiers. Okay. So basically, everyone should be, uh, consulted, right? Whether, for health purpose, expert doctors should be consulted, and then priests should be also consulted. Okay. Then for a third question, some state that science and religious worship should be the highest priority. See, in earlier days, students, everyone was giving the importance to spirituality or the matters of religion. Okay, religion was given prime importance to. Okay, so that was the thing. Okay, because people actually wanted to give importance to the religion, okay, or the spirituality. Okay, so what happens is, with the help of this spirituality, people could actually take the right decision. That was, the assumption. And nowadays, people don't give. That's another matter. However, the king wasn't satisfied with any suggestions. He sought after the advice of a hermit. He sought after the advice of a hermit known for his wisdom. Okay, so now here he thought that it's better that I would go to a hermit, and then thought. What is the meaning of the word thought? Thought is the past tense of the word speak, right? So here he would be taking the advice of a hermit. Okay, the king visited him in simple clothes and left behind just a minute, his bodyguards and horse. Normally when a king visits, okay, some place, he actually visits with the help of the bodyguard, right? So now here he actually visited. This without the horses and the other bodyguards. The hermit, lived in a hut and was digging the ground. The king asked him three questions but received no reply. So initially, he thought that, hermit is definitely eligible and capable to give the answers. But then initially, this hermit did not, give any response. Now, as he was old and weak, the king started digging for him. So now here we can see that actually once the king, visited him, what happened is this hermit, he was actually busy, digging the ground. So the condition of the hermit was that he was actually weak, okay, and he was, not in the, you can say he was not fit to do that job, okay? But he was, giving his full energy. He was quite determined, okay, to complete that work. So after some time, he asked again, but did not receive any reply. The king asked again after an hour, to which hermit answered that something was coming. Someone was coming. So now here, king actually, offered him help also. And then in the meanwhile, he thought that, maybe, I would get help. So now let's see, what happens in the next part. Uh, The king turned around. He saw a wounded man. Blood was profusely coming out of his wound, and then he fainted. The king himself washed his wound with his handkerchief until the bleeding stopped. So now here, while the king was actually working on the wounded man, both of them, they saw a person. He was actually wounded, and blood was profusely in the sense, it was, lot of, amount of blood was coming out of the, part which was actually wounded or injured. And then he fainted. So the person who was injured, he fainted. He lost his consciousness. The king himself washed his wound with his handkerchief, and then he continued it until the bleeding finally stopped. The man asked for water, and the king gave it to him. It was evening, and both of them took him inside the hut. So the man was lying quietly on the bed, and as the king was tired, he slept on the floor. When he woke up, the injured bearded man apologized to him. The king was shocked. So now here, what happened is, initially the man was lying quietly, okay, inside the hermit's hut. Okay, they had both, taken good care of that person who was injured, and the king himself was tired, so he actually slept on the floor. And then when the king, woke up, the injured bearded man, this injured man was actually having a bird on his cheek, so he apologized to him. So the king was shocked. So obviously, when you don't know a person and that person is, apologizing you, so you will be shocked. So that's what, this thing happened. So now here, what happened is, after the king was apologized, so the next thing, that came to the king's mind was, why is he apologizing? So he obviously, raised a question to this bearded man that, what is the reason that you are apologizing me? Okay, students, I need to place you on hold just a minute. students? Can you all hear me? Is my voice audible to you all? Yes, students. Are you all able to hear me? Hello. Bharat, can you hear me? Hello, Bharat, are you there? Can you hear me? Hello. Can anyone hear me? Is my voice audible? Is my voice audible? Hello, Varat, are you there?